My father was clear that he never intended on telling my sister Michelle and me that we were adopted, much less that we'd been bought from a clinic best known for abortions. When I first began asking questions, he lied. And when I was older, he admitted that he saw no reason to tell us the truth. My parents knew what they had gotten into when they bought two babies, and everything was, in their eyes, best buried deep somewhere. What a way to live, fearing every day that someone would show up at the house and take us from the front yard. Fear and shame are consequences of keeping secrets, especially when you have so much to lose when they can't be contained. My father was angry at the person who told his secret. My mother kept quiet because she was afraid. My parents wanted a baby desperately, and they had heard from my mother's Aunt Alice that they could get a baby for cash in North Georgia. Aunt Alice's friend knew a doctor who was selling babies, and they made their way down there to get one. Nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Hicks Clinic, which looks today like it did then, is a small, square brick building the color of homemade butter pecan ice cream, the good kind. The simple, clean architectural lines of the building don't hint at what took place inside. It sits just a stone's throw away from the mild and soft-flowing Toccoa River that snakes its way quietly around McKaysville, Georgia, going deeper into Tennessee and becoming treacherous as it weaves through falls and rough rocks. Just a couple miles downstream, it transforms into the mighty Ocoee River, which is known for its whitewater rapids. The front of the Hicks Clinic faces one of the two main roads into the town, just across the street and down a ways from the IGA store that straddles the Tennessee and Georgia line. If you were in the courtyard of the Hicks Clinic, you could watch the trains pass behind the IGA parking lot. Dr. Thomas Jagarthy Hicks planted his building in the heart of Kaysville like you would plant a garden, methodically, one step at a time. The original Hicks Clinic was a house around which he placed offices and examination rooms. When the new clinic was built, the original structure was torn down. In old photos, nothing hints that the original building housed a medical facility or doctor's office. The old structure stood in what's now the courtyard of the Hicks Clinic. Hicks tended the locals, mostly poor copper miners and their families, for colds, flu, and everyday medical mishaps. But he made his name and wealth through abortions and the sale of babies. He built his practice around the missteps of his life. In the early 1940s, Hicks was arrested and went to prison for selling drugs to the local miners, and then lost his medical license and was barred from practicing in Tennessee. But after his release, the people of Georgia took him in and looked the other way long enough for him to open for business in McKaysville. Hicks was a businessman first. That has never been questioned by anyone who knew him or knew of his practices. Local families, workers from the copper mine, young girls seeking help, men needing a forged birth certificate to avoid or get into a war, and those who had to turn to him because they were unable to make it to a hospital. Patients could pay for his services by cash, check, or bartering, depending upon their economic status or inconvenient situation. Hicks's reach included catering to the debutantes from Atlanta. He was the town doctor, abortionist, and baby seller. With prices ranging from $100 per baby in the 1940s to $1,000 per baby by the 1960s, Hicks sold newborns to barren couples from up north who were looking for babies to call their own. My adoptive father didn't want anyone to know about the Hicks Clinic or the long drives to McKaysville that he and my mother took to buy my sister and me. He especially didn't want others to know about the doctor who was selling babies or the steady stream of women who ended up at the clinic to use the doctor's services for many things my father most assuredly couldn't speak of. The details